Welcome to the Friday Value video, and we are in a series about arthritis where we're discussing 5 common misconceptions that may be keeping you in pain. And we are moving on. We're counting down. We started with number 5. We are now to number 3. And what I want you to see with this misconception is that many people believe that diet does not impact arthritis. So it doesn't matter what you eat. They've changed their diet. They've tried things. They've attempted to change what they eat to lessen the joint pain. Didn't work, or it was just too hard. Or, do you believe it just doesn't even matter what you eat? Well, let's look at some facts, some things that have been shown in the scientific studies, and we'll go from there. So, what causes joint damage? That's the question we need to answer first, because if we don't know what causes it, how would we understand what can help to change it? And the Stanford University School of Medicine did a study, and they found that the primary cause of joint damage is not compression or wear and tear. Now, that might surprise you because I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, yeah, at my age, or this is what you're told all the time by the medical profession. Correct? They tell you, oh, what do you expect at your age? Or, yes, of course, you're going to wear out and all of this. And I used to joke with my patients who had a total knee replacement on one side, but the other knee seemed to be okay based on the doctor's imaging. And I would say, well, were you hopping around on one leg? Is only one leg older than the other leg? I mean, so if it's wear and tear or compression, wouldn't every weight-bearing joint in the body wear out at the same way? So let's use some logic here. So anyhow, what the Stanford University School of Medicine determined was that the primary cause of joint damage is chronic inflammation. Now that we know that, it's been shown in clinical studies, and this has been repeated successfully. So now that we know that it's chronic inflammation, what causes chronic inflammation? Well, food. Now, yes, injury can cause inflammation. Obviously, we know that. You sprain an ankle, it swells up. A lot of the times, if you've had a past injury, that joint will end up having some problems. So yes, direct injury will cause some inflammation, but most of us are walking around, or I should say many of us are walking around with a chronic inflammatory condition that is food-based. And the primary purpose behind this is to show you that animal foods contain high amounts of arachidonic acid, which contributes to inflammation. And you may be thinking, okay, arachidonic acid, what? Now, I'm not telling you have to be 100% vegan. Don't hear what I'm not telling you. I'm simply informing you that the more animal foods you eat, the more arachidonic acid you consume, the more you will be putting your body into a chronic inflammatory state. Now, there's a tipping point. If you stay under that tipping point, you really reduce your risk of this happening. But let's move on with what arachidonic acid is. According to the USDA Standard 13 and 16 databases, it's in animal meats, oily fish like salmon. I wanted to let you know fish has arachidonic acid too, and these produce the highest amounts of arachidonic acid in the body. So it's poultry, it's any animal food, anything with a face or a mother, even if it swims. Fruits, veggies, grains, legumes, beans, lentils produce little or no arachidonic acid, but they will help you to get what you need, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then, of course, processed baked goods produce a moderate amount, and we're not going to discuss this because everybody knows donuts are not a health food. Okay. Food and chronic inflammation. This is huge. There are markers for inflammation. And here, this is showing 2 of them, TNF and interleukin 6. And they lowered 13%, 25% respectively in a group of women that it was measured. Over 1,000 women, the average age of just under 60, were divided into 5 groups based on their daily intake of cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. And this is what they found. It improved their inflammatory blood levels. Yes, veggies will lower your inflammation. Here was one on whole grains. This was where they had a whole grain group that consumed about 98 grams of whole grain a day. The control group was about 11 grams per day, which is typical for this country or Western diet countries. And the whole grain group decreased their chronic inflammation blood levels by quite a bit. And the control group that was not consuming all of those wonderful whole grains increased their inflammation. And then this is the last one here, knee osteoarthritis, joint pain, and fiber. Over 6,000 Americans were looked at in 2 separate studies, and they saw those who ate more fiber had a lower chance of getting osteoarthritis of the knee. Now, they were just looking at the knee. Obviously, every joint in the body is going to be very similar. So, fiber is your friend. Plants are your friend. Fiber is only in plant foods. Animal foods have 0 fiber. Now, arachidonic acid is something that you need in your body. However, the oils in plants, yes, plants have oils in them, will allow your body to convert those into the arachidonic acid that you need. So you won't have more than you need. You're going to get the brick off the gas pedal and reduce your inflammation. Okay, I'll see you next week for misconception number 2.